All right, welcome to our neck of the woods. Afternoon, everybody.
So yeah, we had planned originally to go to the butcher's today and take you guys there, but we're gonna wait until Monday to do that. So we have time and room to get the freezers and everything organized, and that way when we come home it'll be a lot easier to process everything.
A few more things to put away from the store yesterday. I got to run out and go grab some mason jars. So
I like to put my herbs and anything like that in mason jars.
That's right, Monty.
Because if not, the little mice in the country will come in and eat through the plastic containers that the store gives us. They ate all my celery seeds last year over winter. I had some put away, but I didn't have them put in the cupboard. And I learned my lesson.
That is great there. Thank you, Camel Carlo.
Yeah, I just saw that, and I didn't I didn't have time to watch it, but absolutely, yeah, heck yeah. You know, there may not be a master plan. There may be a master plan. I don't know. All I know is a lot of people that serve are serving because they're serving their country and they're serving the people of their country. And so, you know, that's in a way, in a big way, that's serving humanity as well. So those guys are awesome. Heck yeah. So who wants to come up and have a conversation? You guys want to talk about anything?
Yeah, well, I'll go ahead and post this, and anything you all want to talk about, that's fine. I've got one thing here I'm going to go over real quick. Kind of hoping Bonnie squeezed in here.
She's having the afternoon with her granddaughter today, so she's not going to be able to join us, but I told her have a great day.
Well, hopefully she will go and watch this. It's just within the first few minutes. But anyhow, this is no promotion, no paid promotion, no nothing. Just something that we bought down at the local Wally World. Actually, my brother did. He found these for $10. And it's one solar LED security light. And I'll show you the thing of it here in a second.
And I'll get coffee ready.
And for $10, you get a 20-foot cord here. There we are. 20-foot cord. Goes, yeah, here we are. Solar panel, of course, to the light. It's got a little switch down there. On and off. We've had them out. They've been out. So there we are.
Ooh,
woo! Anyhow,
killing them.
Yeah, I don't want to try and blind y'all, but it is a super bright light. Stays on for about 15-20 seconds and it shuts off. It's in a well lit area. It charges really well. It works several times. But it's not bad for $10. He went out and bought, I think, 6 of them. He's got 6 of them or 7 of them, and we put them in the areas where there is no electricity. Of course, we have a spot on the clubhouse. There's spots out throughout the driveway that we put them on for the school bus stop thing. There's no power there. Underneath of our porches where we don't have the power, instead of running power, we have these instead. We do have floodlights, don't get me wrong. They're bright as can be, But boy, this really helped out a lot in the in-between spots. And
especially in the
$10.
wintertime, it stays dark pretty long here.
Yeah.
So our nephew's in high school. He gets up pretty early to catch the bus. And that helps him a lot.
So if you get a chance and you want to check them out down there at Walmart, you can probably find them online and have them ordered in if you can't find them at the store.
Brandon, we got campfires for the barbecue.
Yeah.
We got campfires to light the way everywhere.
We'll have several going. And posters and different things to get you here. But anyhow, I just wanted to show that to you real quick. My brother went out and he had gotten them, and really kind of impressed with them. For the first one he got was last year, and it's been working great, so he got more. We usually go with the good things, actually, when it comes to it, power wise. But solar, we haven't found anything that's really decent until just this little gadget here, out of many that we've tried from the same companies. This one right here really seems to work well. And you're able to, and there was another good part about this too. Right up on the top part here, you guys can see this right here. On most of them that we've ever seen, you can't change the batteries. This one, you can open them up and actually change the battery and get a replacement for it. So that's even better for the $10. Hopefully the battery's not 20. Which I've seen that in some cases.
So what do you guys want to talk about today?
Yeah.
We started the day with the
Let's dig in.
Show. I love that.
Let's dig in.
But we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. As soon as I have more coffee, I'll be more talking. And that'll be boiling any minute, and then I can toss the basket in, and it'll perk. And
let's see, what else can we think
bear with me.
What else can we think of? Well, we saw that. What's this one here? I have a couple of different ones. Yeah.
I think the first time we looked at some of those was that one lady that lives in her RV full time, and she works from her RV.
Oh yeah.
And she did like a
2-3 years ago.
Non-2A RV security type stuff.
Yeah.
And she had done a couple different things like that for bears or for people or for whatever. Can't remember the name of her channel, but I really like it. You guys into any of that stuff, like RVers and like the guys that do the stealth camping and whatnot? I kind of like watching that stuff. I dig watching people turn vans and box trucks into like tiny homes, and I don't know. I just find the resourcefulness of those people to be very cool, and that's kind of the dream, when
trying to think of something.
Jeff and I first started dating. Before we had Raina, of course, we wanted to have he was going to do his barbecue on the road, and I was going to paint, and we just open the map and pick wherever we wanted to go and set up, and so that's what we wanted to do. That's the dream, right?
Now we're going to do it over YouTube.
So
now we're just going to do it over YouTube.
If you guys have come into StreamYard, give us a second. Nope. Okay. Hey, working. Monty, be right back. Okay. We'll drop the link again if you guys want. Oh, it's still showing. You guys, anybody want to jump in and
come on?
You're more than welcome. Other than that, we're just gonna blather on for a little bit. But yeah, Yeah, I really like the people that build their own ones and come up. I was browsing YouTube this morning and something came up in the feed and it was a DIY camper box and it looks like a fold out kitchen that would sit off one of the back of those trailers that we've been looking at. Cool. Those travel trailers, man, some of those travel trailers are epic. I don't know.
Nomadic, yep.
I'm very drawn to the ones that they make in Australia. I don't know why, but like just the way they're made. And their look, they're very rugged looking and they look, we can go up and down and over hills and through the vales and all that.
Traversing. Let's see real quick here if I can.
Because I want something for off-road. It's not camping in a parking lot. Oh. Yay. Montague. Oh man, the stuff we can do with your name.
Well, there's all kinds.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
So this morning when I woke up, I noticed I had a update alert on my phone.
Oh yeah.
Now, the last two updates before that, I noticed I'd go in there and there was no presidential alert, no wireless emergency alert set up on it again. It used to when I first got it.
Yeah, you have to constantly keep checking it when your phone updates.
With every update, they're doing that. They're doing it more and more.
This morning, after I did the update, and I barely got into the hunting and fishing show. I was trying to hurry, or Ken Carson actually. So I went in, was dabbling with it, and I was checking it out, the new update, and lo and behold, it says wireless emergency updates on it again, or alerts. So everybody go into your phone settings when you can, check your software update.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I check mine every couple days, no matter what.
And I don't do the updates until they force my phone to do them. I don't do them, and that's just me. Well, that's how I am, because it always screws up everything on my screen, and I don't like it, and I didn't ask for it. So
see this phone right here?
I make them give it to me.
This phone is 2 years old. It hasn't been in service for 2 years. I haven't done anything with it for 2 years. It hasn't been updated for 2 years. Now, our new phones, when we got that last one, this phone went off, but our two new phones did not go off, and everything was turned on.
I think part of it is carrier service.
The carriers are the ones that are hiding it from certain percentages, not in a general,
but you're absolutely right. People should go in and check their settings after every update, because the carriers are the ones providing the updates more than the tech companies, because it all runs through the carrier service.
Yep.
There was over 75% of Apple phones did not receive the EBS last time.
That's right.
Yeah,
see how it all coincides if you really look at the broad picture.
So, Monty,
that's the big company. No, it's not carriers.
That Apple is correct.
That's company.
But Verizon, AT&T, Sprint.
I'm with Straight Talk.
Okay, you're Straight Talk. All right, that's a sister company of Verizon.
All right, so
Alltel, that's a sister company of Verizon. TracFone, Verizon. So if you really dig, I have one. If you go onto our channel and go over to my channels tab, it should bring up. We've got 148 in there, and in there, there's one that's I can't remember the name right offhand, but it's Tech Life, and Tech Life. And what he does is he talks about all the major platforms, and he also talks about all the sister companies that are owned by these major platforms.
Right.
And He just gives updates and tells you what they're going to be doing, how they're going to be throttling signals, and the tests that they're doing. He's really good at it. I mean, I sort of pay attention to him, and especially when he talks about like certain updates, like your service update. Then I pretty much watch and listen because that usually will entail either a price change or a different bracket for you to be in for a deal.
Right.
You know, so when I get it to, I'll see because right now it'll take forever to load my page. We have such a hard time with our signal the way it is.
Right.
Hey, Ship.
How you doing, Shipwreck?
Hey,
There?
Brenda.
Shipwreck.
Go ahead, Monty.
Okay, go ahead.
If you haven't, you can go into your settings, and where it goes down and it says software updates to check or to update. You can. It's down there at the very bottom. Most phones, if you scroll all the way down, it's towards the bottom, right above the where it'll say it'll be above the about the phone, where it says about the phone. You know, where you can check your SIM card to see whether or not it's receiving signal or not, and the battery percentage. That's in the about the phone. Now above that will be your most phones will be your check software update. All you gotta do is hit it every once or twice a month, or maybe once a month.
Yeah,
And some phone carriers are different. This software update that I did this morning, it was done in July, back in July.
Right.
All right, cool. Yeah, you gotta. That's what like you said. You have to sometimes force. Staying on top of it's a better thing to do anyhow. Never let things automatically because you don't know
be
what
like
you're
me.
getting.
Don't procrastinate.
Because even when I had computers, and it was way back with XP, and I was coming into XP when it first came out, and you were always able to go get your updates. It never forced your computer to update. You always went and got them from Microsoft to update them. Now, there was an automatic update tab, but all it would let you do at that point in time was to allow you to know that there were updates available for your computer to download. But you didn't ever have to update them. Now things are being forced, and within a month and a half after you stop updating your phone, within a month and a half to 2 months, it will start acting really wonky and weird. Certain things won't load, or will give you a hard time loading certain things. And it's only because, of course, they're going to call it threats, and you got to keep the coding changed all the time. But we already know where a lot of that participates to on them trying to gather information. So
you can always do
like I said, you never had to, so yes, you need to be aware, and you can be in control of your downloads. You don't have to download certain things. Yeah, now if you've got Google on your phone, unfortunately, you're going to have to update Google because your phone will just stop. It will not work.
No, I will not comply.
Exactly.
If you do a soft update, a soft reset, which is mostly a volume down and the power button, it's just a soft reset. It's not a factory hard reset. It will just restart it. My last computer was like an Etch a Sketch, man. I had to pick it up, shake it every once in a while.
And I like those old style machines. They were built to be kicked if they didn't work right.
Yep.
And that would make them work right. You remember? If it didn't give you your soda, or in my dad's case, the pack of cigarettes, you kicked the machine and it would work.
Drop the pack of cigarettes or drop the soda.
like the Fonz on Happy Days, he bumped that jukebox.
Yeah. Oh.
How
Ship,
you doing
can you
today,
hear us?
Ship?
Ship said, "I'll be right back."
Can you hear us? Hey, I can hear you now. What? No, can't hear you, but we can hear you. I don't understand that one.
Can't read lips.
Heard you shut your door. There he is. There you go. We got your thumb over the
All right,
microphone.
How y'all doing, man?
Not too bad. Hanging in there. It's a good Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I just got off work myself. Look what I got in the mail yesterday.
Yeah. Come on now. Oh, look at that. Heck yeah, man.
I'm trying to get a good angle. Can you see it?
No, It's pretty
Yeah.
good. What is that, about 4-inch thick? 4-inch by like, what, 1.5 by 1.5?
2 feet by 2 feet by about 4 or 5 inches.
4 or 5 inches? Yeah.
And it's got
And that's
the little door right here. Opens up. They go in. And then if you want to let them free, you let them out.
Oh, that's cool.
We have the
We
old
can-
style trap cages for coons.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
we
a
have
couple
the
of those.
old style.
10 to 12 inches square, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Rectangle. Well, they're rectangles. They're long and
Yeah, I
square.
got a
also
couple
have
of those. I catch the
crawdad.
cats, the neighborhood cats with those. Well, y'all, I just wanted to drop in and say hey real quick. My wife just got home. I ain't seen her yet today, so
Hey,
I'll
hey,
catch up with
hey.
y'all
Yeah,
later
guess
on.
you what?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely,
Got to
man.
catch up with the boss.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
All right, man.
Have a great
Take care.
Saturday,
Have a
man.
great afternoon.
Yeah, I'll let you boys talk. I'm gonna go check that coffee.
Are you making a fresh pot?
I am.
Just a pot of coffee? All right.
I am.
I can dig it. It's going to be a coffee day.
Brenda Doyle, you might want to do a system update.
Love you too,
If you haven't-
Arson.
Hey, I'm
If you
about
haven't-
to get. I'm about to get a shipment of paints, and you guys want me to unbox it on the TV? I'll try to wait if you want me to. It's nothing fancy.
You hear, Heather? Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. If I have to,
Yeah,
I can go back.
Maria retired. They've had those notifications on the phones for about a year now.
Yeah. It's just, it's
Mine's
silly.
not turned on.
Maria.
My husband's always up on the update stuff, but
Maria.
I think I'm a little lazy in that aspect.
Come on
But
up.
I don't beat myself up over it because until the programs stop working, I don't do the updates.
Every time I see Maria Retired's name, it reminds me of Brooks and Dunn. Maria.
Oh, we love Maria. She's awesome.
Oh.
Exposure notifications. Really?
See if you can come up, artist.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Try it.
I would not put that one on. I bet you there's some tracking involved in that app. Of course, they're already tracked. Listen,
They track
if they
everything.
really want to know where you are, they're going to know where you are.
If you even stop to think about how many apps are doing that already in your phone, you'd be surprised.
Oh, yeah.
Google, Facebook, you got your
Everything.
emergency 911, you've got everything.
There was a guy out there. He went and took his phone and he put it in one of those.
Faraday bags.
It's like a Faraday bag, but it was metal lined, and it completely blocked. It blocks everything. Can't track the phone. You can't find or anything. But what he did is when he got to the place where he was at, he'd take the phone out, walk into the place, walk back out, and then put the phone back in the bag, and then he'd go on to his next destination. What it couldn't track when it was doing everything, it was still collecting the data of every little spot he was at on the longitude latitude. And then when he got back to his lab, I could say, because it was a forensics, and he plugged the phone in, and it gave a scale of every place that he stopped, when it was basically from outside the bag, the how many feet he walked, where he what he was buying, and then of course they could turn it on and listen to him through his microphone and camera if they wanted to.
Oh yeah.
If it was live. But what he did was just a kind of like one of those. This is what they can do, and but what they couldn't do was they couldn't track from point A to B of where he was going. It just gave a list of all the spots.
If you guys
that he
haven't
went in
seen it,
order.
just to address chat real quick, if you guys haven't seen it yet, go check out a video by Millennial Millie
Yep.
called Shadowgate.
That's a
It's going to
good
take up
video.
some time to watch it, but boys, there are a lot of information about how the Intel community works, and directly from Intel community members and contractors.
Really, really good video.
And it's deep. It's pretty good.
Millennial
Millie.
Sorry. Shadowgate.
Shadowgate. If you look up Shadowgate, you can find it.
Yes, Camo Carl. I've seen that Snowden one. He anytime he gets a phone, he dissects it, unhooks the microphone and the internal microphone and the speaker and everything, and he solders in his own speaker and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I still don't know if Snowden's a CIA plan or not. I've seen that. I've seen suggestions that he is, but I don't. I'm not talking.
Time and patience.
Look, hindsight's always going to be your. And I hate to say it that way, and I'm. Maybe I'll divulge my personal feelings on all of those subject matters someday, but for now, I kind of try to remain a little bit neutral because I'm not trying to push anybody off, and we all have our own opinions of all that's going on. We can all talk about it if you want to. Hey, farmer son. But
because knowledge is power.
Hindsight is always going to be the best teller of the truth, right?
Like the GI Joe, thing used to be back in the day. The old saying on the Saturday morning cartoons: "Knowing is half the battle."
Yeah,
really is too. I mean, if you apply that to different areas of your life, knowing is half the battle. Knowing what sets off an addiction or an addictive behavior is half the battle of fighting that behavior. You know what I mean? Or fighting that influence. And knowing what triggers a depressive state or a PTSD episode or any of that, knowing what that trigger is half the battle to fighting the end result, right? So you can apply that good bit of wisdom to so many things in life. You just have to actually apply it. And a lot of people don't think about that. They think it applies to one thing or one area, but knowing is half the battle. Really is.
Yeah, it's kind of like yesterday. It's kind of like yesterday when I seen you guys inside the Amish store and you was getting the vanilla beans.
Yeah,
the glass tubes that they were in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to look the other way.
Well,
old habit.
Yeah. Well.
And
it's everywhere. That's the thing.
We've all made our mistakes in life.
It's a reminder.
They may all be different, but it doesn't mean they're not all just as scarring, right? So.
Oh yeah.
And how you were, we were over there with you last night, and I just got to tell you, I want to give you my phone number if you want to reach out and talk to me. I have some firsthand knowledge on that stuff too, so I understand exactly where you're coming from, and I can empathize because I have been there, and I'll say no more on that.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate that.
Actually, yeah, we're gonna put that. I'm gonna put that in the private chat for you. My number.
I wish I could type down there in chat too while I'm up here.
I know that's the only thing I love. I love that you come on, and it really helps out when you pop up here. We appreciate you. 2 4 6 9. just so you know, I just love you, man. Plus, you know,
I love y'all too.
we relate to you because we're the same generation. And so, and even though we're of that generation, you remember, and I know I'm going to almost guarantee you remember.
Thank you.
Thinking like you belonged in the era before you arrived, because you probably had a lot more connections with adults from that era than you did with kids your own age. Am I wrong?
Oh yeah, my friends. I've had friends that was in Nam. I've had, yeah, a lot. Had relatives that was over there too.
Yeah. And I think there are like a handful of us from that generation, and I was born in '75 too. So, but I always like, I see the references you make, and they're all the same kind of references I make, and I'm just like, yeah, he gets it. He gets it. It's nice to meet people that have the same kind of wavelength. Sometimes, you know, it's unique for me because I don't meet a whole lot of people that actually do think the way I do, or have the same kind of references, and people don't get my references a lot. So I think it's great that you do.
I got your number written down.
Awesome. So I'm just letting you know, man. You know, text me first and let me know it's you so I can put you in my phone. Because if I don't have your name in my phone, the number doesn't get answered.
No problem.
But yeah, youngsters, you say that, Camo, but you get every reference we make too. I might be a little younger than you, but it'll be all right.
Oh, where'd he go?
Let me get pen. Oh,
Where'd he
you
go?
show off your treat that you got yourself yesterday there.
I'll show off my treat. Yeah, I got this is my treat. Right here. Right. Whoa. Whoa.
What are you doing? What are you doing? All right, I have a pen. Where's my notebook?
See how you are.
Number 2.
Run away from us.
I'm terribly unorganized.
And I kicked myself out again. I hate that when I hit the wrong button.
There you go. I got myself this treat yesterday.
What's that?
Cinnamon rolls.
Giant Amish made cinnamon rolls.
Amish made.
They are super sweet and sugary. Hey, Valerie.
Hey, Valerie.
I forgot I'm in StreamYard, not YouTube, because I was going to try and...
As a matter of fact, coffee's done. Have me some break fast.
Do you have the same issue we do? Like, if you're trying to get into somebody else's that uses like Restream, do you have signal issues with that? Because I have more signal issues with Restream than I do with like StreamYard.
StreamYard, yeah.
And
or Zoom. Zoom's really good. This is really good. But when we go into Restream,
I was wondering if anybody else was.
We lock up.
Dealing
we
with that.
freeze up. We got to constantly refresh.
The night before last, I was in Travis's, and all of a sudden my screen got it jittery glitched, and then all of a sudden he didn't kick me out. I didn't kick out. It booted me out.
Yeah, that's
what it does to us too. It let us in the first couple times we got in Travis's. It let us in, and yeah, from that point forward, we haven't been able. We try to get on with him, but it either doesn't load the page and let us in. Hey, Liz, Brenda, Tracy, everybody, Farmer.
We're 70 model as well.
But yeah, it like kicks us out, or we'll be backstage and it'll kick us out, or I don't know. It's weird. I just wondered if anybody else was having similar issues with that.
What's weird is I had full green, 4 or 5 green bars in Travis's, and then all of a sudden it just glitched, and then it kicked me all the way. It booted me all the way out, like Timbuktu.
Yeah, it does that kind of stuff to us too, and that's what I don't understand. And I don't know if they're messing with him maybe, and it's just part of that, or what it is. Or maybe like if his signal is dropping in and out, it affects the rest of the show in some way, or the platform. Maybe, I don't know.
I blame it on the weather from the Canadians. Hi, Canadian
Don't
Patriot.
blame our Canadians. We love our Canadians.
Come back.
We have some good Canadians. You got to give them that.
I know that.
What do we
Great
got here?
people on here. Great people. We're all a little weird in our own way. Whether we like it or not.
Yeah, so you guys are just
weather.
coming in. Hey, Florable, haven't seen you in a long time.
Florable chicken hen.
Yeah, I like her. She's awesome. Very opinionated, but very cool.
Hey, I know that song, Carl. Welcome to my world. Ray Price or Jim Reeves. I think it was Ray Price. I'm sorry. I'm just anytime I see a certain thing, it reminds me of music, song title or anything like that, or a lyric.
I was like that. I used to have my friends either loved that about me or hated that about me, but like every time they'd say something, I had a song for it. Good old days, good old days. I still do sometimes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead. I was just filling space.
Ladies first, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, you please, by all means, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Don't make me do the I'm the host and you're the guest and you better do it because it's your turn.
But you're
I'll turn my mom voice on. I do not have a goat head.
I didn't say that.
I'm just messing with you.
Elvis
Elvis left the building. Yeah. Hey, babe. Will you make me a cup of coffee? What? Please. Sorry, guys. We got to have a late night last night.
Coffee we drink all day.
Then we slept in late. So
I didn't go to bed at 5 o'clock.
Oh my Lord. Yeah, that was later than us.
Then I woke up at 8.
Good on you.
Oh yeah, they're gonna dump on us, Brenda. Absolutely. We're in Northeast Ohio. This is storm time for us, but that's okay because fall's right around the corner, and that means I can break out all the flannels. I love flannel shirts. Something about it, flannel shirts and campfires.
It was around the winter time. Last time I was up there around whatever lake is right there, Michigan and Chicago area. Michigan.
Is that here? Well, Michigan
Anyway.
has Erie and I think Huron on the other side, right?
It was on the south point, and it was right when you could tell right where the waves come up and hit the guardrail and the sidewalk, and it froze in midair, and you could see the waves like 2 or 3 foot out from the railing, directly horizontal.
That happens every year.
Frozen.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful, and that happens every year up there.
Sometimes they're bigger, sometimes they're mostly smaller.
But it's like snowflakes every year. It's got its own pattern, you know. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I was unloading a rail truck, semi flatbed, and we had railroad rail on it. First time I was up in Chicago doing a Nabisco job, and I was like, "So why do they call this the Windy City?" And I was up on there helping unload that rail, and that wind gust come up. I was wearing Carhartts, bibbers and coat, and it cut right straight through it.
Mm-hmm. They make special Carhartts just for up there.
Oh yeah, I've done freezer jobs too.
Zone.
I did freezer jobs. I did cold weather freezer warehouses up in Mississauga and Kitchener, Ontario, and in Bakersfield and a couple other places here and there. But yeah, minus 45 is the coldest. Minus 45 is the coldest I worked in.
Wow.
No, thank
That's negative. It got down to negative 30 one winter when I was the manager for a district here in Ohio for a newspaper, and I was out every night, and I think the lowest night was below 23, and then with wind chill it was like below 30 something, and that was the coldest I was ever out. But I had several carriers down that night, so I was running everywhere.
One of the coldest places, I think it was Turkey Cold Storage or something. I don't know. OSHA was there and made sure that we only worked 20 minutes and then 10 minutes outside, 20 minutes inside, 10 minutes back out. Now, they were strict on that.
Yeah. The thing that sucks about when the weather gets that way here, and like especially for anybody that's out doing all night deliveries, like at that time the papers had to be delivered by 6 a.m. so you were out all night. And they've changed a lot of stuff since then, but because we live in an Amish area, this is still a very big area for newspaper delivery. Between the elderly and the Amish folk, you know, they like their delivery because they don't do the news, they don't do TVs and whatnot, so they love their newspapers.
They just do that for the stock market.
So you're out of
feed and cattle and all that.
You're out on the worst roads.
Yeah.
And the coldest weather in no service areas 90% of the time. And you got to have your window down every couple feet. And I'm telling you, there were a couple people, I just told them, go home and do it in the morning in the daylight. It'll be warmer at least, you know. Won't be as I told my carriers to go home because it was too dangerous, you know. At some point you say enough's enough. It's too dangerous, and I wouldn't ever risk anybody's life. When we had big snowstorms, I did the same thing. Go home, wait till it's over and the roads are mostly cleared, do what you can do, and call in what you can't. And that was just how I did it.
Yeah, those blast freezers I was in, they was cold.
Yeah, I bet. See, I don't know if I could. I worked in a meat room for a while in my youth. I couldn't work in the cold just to be in the cold. I just couldn't do it.
I was in North Carolina one time. We did not Russell Stovers, the lasagna and stuff. You know, not Russell Stovers, the other one. It was just Stovers.
Yeah.
Brand. Yeah. That and Tony's Pizza out here in Salina, Kansas. Then that once you get that smell in your nose, you never want another cardboard pizza ever.
Yep.
One thing out in Bakersfield, anything that fell off the top racks on product, the ice cream, if it fell and hit the ground, it was game. It's ours.
Nice.
That was Bluebell.
You did grocery delivery or freezer truck delivery specifically, right?
Did all kinds of warehouse rail installations, from Mary Kay to Kimberly Clark to Estee Lauder, Federal Mogul, cold food storage, everything.
Right on. Right on. This is for the general. She knows who she is. I love you, Liz.
That's Agent 99.
Agent 99. Well, she asked me what was higher in rank, an agent or a general. I told her a general. So that's what I call her.
She has the phone in her shoe.
Tony Sausage Pizzas. Yeah, you guys, you're welcome to come up. We're just having a conversation
Chit
about
chat
anything, come on up. Hi, Meg. I see you. Anybody I didn't see? Hey, Jay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Yeah, you know what? Another thing is you can reach your limit on all of those kinds of foods where they just make you sick after you've had so much of them.
Yeah.
And it's like even a smell that even slightly resembles that food will make you sick.
I tell you
Can
one
I
thing
have
I
a-
miss. I miss having home grain fed whatever, hogs and beef. That meat, once you get it back from the butcher house, oh, there's nothing like it. The store bought stuff holds no candle to it.
No,
Mm.
not at all. Got down here, finally found looking for butchers and whatnot. And once we got down here, and within about a year, well, 2 years, we got changed over to a butcher. And then from that point, there was a couple times when we had her one son up here living with us. We got short on meat, so he ran down to Walmart. And he comes back and he's proud of himself. He had been eating our good meat too. And then
We made him cook it up for himself.
No, we made burgers, I think, that first time. And we're like, well, we don't usually eat Walmart meat anymore, but, thank you for doing what you did. And we made them up. And when he took a bite of them after making a big sandwich, he made works on it. He even tasted the difference between the meat of Walmart and the meat that we get. And that's when he's like, next time we go, I want to know where you guys go get your meat.
Yeah. I think I remember that one of our biggest fat steer that we had butchered, one of the biggest ones I remember when we still farmed was it dressed out at 1,200 pounds.
Oh wow, yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to go ahead? Sorry, Naughty.
No, you're all right. Go ahead.
I just wanted to tell them real quick in chat. You guys want a cheap, easy, homemade version of pizza that you can do with what you got in your cupboard? This is what we do. I put some all-purpose flour in a bowl. I put some salt in the bowl, and I put a little bit of baking powder. And if you don't know how to make your own baking powder, it's really simple. It's cream of tartar, baking soda, and voila. I think that's it. And then that, you put that together in a bowl, pour a little bit of warm, not hot, water into it, wrap it up in a towel, let it sit on the counter for 15 minutes, and then you separate it into however many you want. You can do this right in the skillet on the stove top, and then you spread that out. You're gonna let it cook in the skillet with either so you can cook them without oil, but they're not gonna cook as nicely because that's like the basis of a Navajo fry bread that I use for our pizza dough. I just put them a little bit thicker than tortillas. I do thick tortillas too sometimes. So
yeah, we like them that way.
About I'm gonna say about anywhere between an eighth of an inch to a quarter of an inch thick, and then I'll put a little bit of olive oil in the pan, and I'll fry one side, and I'll get it. You can tell how they cook through, and then when it's almost cooked through, you just flip it over and top the side that's been cooked with your sauce. And if you don't have cheese and you have Parmesan, use Parmesan. It'll taste like Chef Boyardee kind of, only better, right? It won't taste like cardboard. So that's a quick, easy, whatever night for us. When Raina says, "Mom, I want pizza," and I'm like, I just pull out spaghetti sauce or tomato sauce and add some oregano, garlic, onion, and it tastes like pizza sauce. And that's it. That's what we do.
I love fresh mozzarella.
Oh, we do too. But you don't always have those things on hand, so always try to give a alternative. Parmesan works well. It's rather cheap.
Deplorable Chicken Hen wants that recipe again, Heather. She was looking for
Flour?
a pen and paper.
Okay. Well, here, maybe I'll pop it in chat for her.
Very good. Cast iron is awesome. I just found my skillet and my Dutch oven. I need to get it seasoned, but it's kind of still hot. It's hot summer months still here, and yeah, it's a small kitchen. It heats up the house real quick.
Yeah. Well, you have a little camp stove or something. You can cook outside in the summertime. That'll save you a lot.
Here's the misconception of the seasoning. It only has to be hot. It doesn't have to be in the oven. So if you heat it up to a certain temperature on your stovetop or a camp stovetop or a fire outside, you pour your oil in and you let it heat up even more, and then you just pour your oil out and you wipe it down and let it cool off. It doesn't actually have to bake on. It just has to. What you're doing is you're opening up the pores in the pig iron.
Right. Yeah.
And it just gets the oil down in there. Other than that, it doesn't have to be baked on. It just needs to be down inside of all that.
Yeah.
And then just after you're done, always make sure never wash it out with soap and water. And that's the other thing.
Right.
You just rinse it out with hot water while it's still hot. The best thing to do is that if you can. There's certain little things you can do. I'm not saying you.
Flour will work.
For everybody in the
Deplorable.
chat. When you get done with your pot, make sure you have something to pour that into right away. That's heat and already in that. And then you can take a cast iron and immediately get water inside of it to get the food out, and just make sure you scrub it after dinner. And then you don't have to worry about soap or food sticking on it or anything like that.
Yeah, my husband makes some of the best. When we do like pizza, he makes the best campfire pizza, and he does it in the cast iron, and we make up a good dough. But for like a quick, easy, don't have much left in the cupboard, want something to treat yourself, flour and water and salt will make a dough. Okay. No, but Deplorable, we do cover stuff like that. So,
Thank you.
I mean, it is really simple. It doesn't have to be anything hard or complicated, you guys. Improvise. Improvisation is a skill, and everybody should have that one. Yeah, Michael, we're feeling the loss too. We really are. All those soldiers over there. And there's part of me that wonders if this is the gut punch, honestly, because this feels like the gut punch. And I know a lot of people are saying that this isn't it yet, but
no, this is part of it.
Members,
I think so, because
members,
military.
both active and past, are getting punched in the gut. The people of this country, our entire generation is getting punched in the gut. On what's going on alone.
A bunch of retired Navy SEALs and okay, hang on. It was the Navy SEALs and
Green Berets.
They went. Yeah, Green Berets. They went and pulled off Operation Pineapple Express yesterday or last night.
We read
that was in a drop, wasn't it?
Huh?
Pineapple Express. That was in a drop, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was.
It from what I read last night on the thing through breaking news on Telegram. Actually, it's Frogman. It was a code word given to the retired, to the ones. It was a code word used from the retired vets, given to the ones that didn't obey their orders, to not help over there, from what I gathered.
Awesome.
From what I gathered.
Awesome.
That's how they
Yeah.
that's how they need to distinguish who was friend and foe.
I was just going to ask you,
Yeah.
do you think they use that a little bit of separating the wheat from the chaff? Because that would make sense to find out who's for the right stuff and who's not. That would make complete sense to be able to weed them out.
Yes, Michael, they're bringing them home right now. And from what Jeff B put up on last night, he said that the State Department was ticked. Biden's State Department, I should add, make it clarify that they was ticked off that the retired vets went and done that. You know what? It's America. It's Americans for Americans. That's how I look at it. It don't matter if they're retired.
Raised money and sent a plane over there, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a few of them. There's quite a few people at the retired vets and stuff that was involved. Yes.
Heck yeah.
Michael knows probably more about it. Michael
We're
knows more
uniting
about
under common causes. I'm sorry, Monty. Go ahead.
Michael knows more about that. What took place yesterday than I do on the rescue.
Michael, you want to come up and tell us a little bit about it?
You're more than welcome.
I'm sure that there are people who are not catching some of that, and they want to know more about it too. And honestly, quite frankly, I feel like those bright spots of hope are going to be what keeps the strong going. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people are at a point where they just want to give up. It's so frustrating. It's so.
You're absolutely right, Michael. Look at his last comment.
Oh, I don't think Joe should probably leave a protected area for a while. I have a feeling that more people are upset with him in a manner that is detrimental to his health than he believes.
Well, that one Republican last night called for the impeachment of Joe Biden. They called for Harris and Pelosi to pull it. So there's 2 or 3 ways either way they can put the whammy on Biden right now. So
Good to have you, Michael.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How you?
Well, still feeling the pain of fallen soldiers being killed for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty hard on us veterans. This was uncalled for. This is blood on the Democrats' hands all over it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Agree.
The one that really got me is the one that had just graduated in 2017. He was a Lance Corporal Marine, and he'd only been deployed, I think, maybe a month or two, if I remember seeing that right. It just when they're that young in the service, if we're not in an active conflict or war, they shouldn't be sent over there that young in the service. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're greenhorns, and yeah, they need hardcore soldiers in there, because they, in that kind of a situation, you really have to be aware of everything. You really have to be head on your swivel. I've seen just in training, new guys come out from basic training, and sometimes they get killed just in training.
Yeah, I had a buddy that was in down in Bennett, Fort Benning, and they joined the 82nd. They're doing their where they're crawling underneath the barbed wire, and they shooting live fire M60 over, and this one in their platoon, I guess. He was real skittish, and he was freaking out, crawling, and they told him keep his head down, and he popped up, and that was it.
Well, a lot of times what happens is, depending on the training like that, you could have snakes down there. You could freak out, and then you can jump up. Um, you just never know what can make a person trip out, and
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. Like I said, I've seen a lot of soldiers killed, and just in training.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
I've been nearly killed 3 times, but that's not during training.
Right.
Well, actually, no, excuse me. One time, yeah, I was almost killed. They're just in training. We were doing that was in Yakima firing range, and we had it's called the M113. It's a track where they carry soldiers, and our vehicle was about ready to start rolling over. And in fact, I was one of the drivers that decided to go ahead and drive, because sometimes we're driving for a long time and everybody needs to take a break. And so just in training, you can get killed.
Yeah. And I mean, to some extent, when you sign up to serve, you know there are chances that you're not coming home, right?
Yep.
But that doesn't mean that we expend life willy-nilly at the click of a finger because some bullshit politician in a business suit says so.
Right.
And I think that's what pisses off most of us, those who have served and those who have not served alike, is that we understand the sacrifice that these people are willing to make. And thank you, sir, for your service. Because you took an oath, and that oath that you take in service doesn't go away just because you've left the service. You're still, sir, very much in service to your country every day of your life. And we thank you for that, because I think maybe people misunderstand what that oath means to most people once they've taken it.
Absolutely.
And that's what I thank you for, because I know in my heart of all the retired service people that we have in our country, almost all of them remember they remember the day they took that oath, and that oath has never left them. And I was so thankful Monty came on and talked about that story. I wasn't sure if I was going to mention it at all, because of all the different stuff out there, and we try to provide a kind of an afternoon away from the news. But some of this stuff we have to talk about, and sometimes we can offer a different perspective that others don't. And guys like you coming up here and talking to us provides an even deeper perspective, and we love that. And thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're very welcome. I go on Liberty Warrior, and of course Ken. And I'm going to tell you is sometimes veterans do need to have a place to talk. Sometimes they don't want to talk about it, but I believe the American people that've never served, and they put money into us. They put money into our weapons that we have. They have a right to know where their money goes, what it goes for. And as a American Army veteran, I love the American people. We would, I even told Ken a short story about one, and we were going on a recon. We were going after something, and a guy stepped on a mine. I wasn't very far from him, and when he stepped on it, he blew his legs off. And so I ended up getting off the ground, and I was bloody. I crawled over to him, and we could see he wasn't going to make it. He was pretty badly injured. And but one of the things that really stands out in my heart all the time, and this is what he said, and this is for everybody in here and everybody in the United States. He said, "I love my country," and then he died. Now, when
Yeah.
he said that, he means everybody that's in our country,
Yeah.
everyone, even the
Exactly.
Democrats, even the Democrats that don't, understand
Right.
what's going on, even for them,
The ones that are
and I was nearly killed myself. If I would have been maybe 5 feet more closer, possibly, I would have probably gotten killed. I had a bad concussion. My ears were bleeding. Um, but we had to go over there and we said our goodbyes to him, and then we went off and did our mission.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a lot. My dad served in the Navy, and I had an uncle who was Army and Nam. He had Agent Orange. My grandfathers both served, um, and Jeff has family members that have served.
My dad,
And
grandpa's, my dad, my brother.
it always
My
pissed me
dad
off.
was Army.
It always pissed me off that good men and women would stand up and fight for a country who didn't give two shits. When it wasn't the country, it took me a while to realize it wasn't the country. It was the government, but and the mainstream media, because I remember being very young and being very pissed off when I found out how Vietnam vets were treated when they came home, and it made me. It's not that I don't want to serve my country. I just knew I couldn't serve this government. I couldn't serve the system, and so I chose not to enlist. I have a son. He is considering going into the Air Force, and if he does, I'm proud of him. And if he doesn't, that's fine too. That's a decision that each one of us has to make individually. But for the men and women that do serve and have the courage to go out there and stand strong, they're warriors. They're more warriors than any of us will be. But we back home support you, and we send you our love, and we'll be rocks for you when you get home, should you need us.
Right.
And I know not everybody thinks that way. That's the way I think, and that's how I feel.
Right.
And I'm okay with people not agreeing with that. But I've had enough firsthand experience of PTSD episodes with vets, and knowing the need that they have to have somebody that they can just call up and just talk about something, anything,
Right.
at some point, whether it's to fight off that demon, or whether it's to tell the story and get it out so it doesn't affect them as bad. And depending on the person is depending on how that works, but you just got to be there.
Right.
So I invite any vets that can find us or that want to find us. You guys want to show, or you guys can get up here and talk about your stuff, you're welcome. We'll give you the platform. Absolutely, we will.
We appreciate that. Talking for other veterans, we appreciate that. Excuse me, I have other issues. I have COPD and bronchitis. I didn't get COPD and all that stuff from smoking or anything. I got it from when I used to go training over in Yakima Firing Range with all that ash that came down.
Yeah.
We had a lot of ash on the ground, and we would inhale that, and so now I've got lung issues.
Yeah.
But you know what? If a lot of people would ask me, would you do it all over again? And I said, absolutely, yes, I would. I would do it again, because when you sign up, there's going to be some kind of a sacrifice, depending on what you're doing. If you're, just a cook, well, yeah, you're sacrificing in a sense, you're feeding the soldiers. But the ones who go out there and get dirty and crawl in the mud, and sometimes even worse than that. But it's pretty grungy, and if you don't have that kind of mindset where you can do all that, then you need to take a different type of a different type of uh, MOS. That's what I'll call it, MOS. And MOS is a training that you go through in the military.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to just, mine was 11 Bravo, and then I went into sniper school after that.
11
Yeah,
Bravo,
and
isn't that infantry?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Then they saw how good I could shoot. Then the drill sergeant, I'll tell you a little story. It's pretty funny, but I was out there. I was on the range and I was shooting, and these are pop-up targets. Now, some can be 50 feet, some can go out to like 100 yards. So these would pop up, and every time they pop up, I'd hit them, a direct shot on them. And so it was, I got a 40 out of 40. So the drill sergeant said, "Hey, come here with me." And he said, "See that target way out there?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You think you can hit it?" I said, "No problem." So I lined it up, took a shot, hit it. He said, "All right, come with me." So he took me to a lieutenant. He sat down with me and he said, "Hey, you are a guy that we're looking for. We're looking for guys that are snipers that can go out there and take care of missions. And would you be interested in that?" And I said, "Yeah, well, sure." So they got me hooked up, got me into sniper school, and then went and did that.
That's awesome.
yeah,
That is
In
awesome.
fact,
it is awesome.
in fact, I was one of the first ones that tried out the M82, the Barrett, back in
Oh.
1982. So we were one of the first ones to get the brand new issues of the Barrett.
Right on.
Yeah, and
Wow,
so
Was you,
you have to when you qualify with the Barrett, you have to shoot 2.3 miles, or I mean 2 miles. Mine was 2.3 miles.
I actually know
really good.
2 snipers.
the
Pardon?
I said we actually know two vet snipers. One of them is really messed up, and the other one's really messed up in a different way. They're both
Yeah.
really good guys,
That's great.
but they each have their own demons.
I didn't hear you.
So they each have their own demons.
Well, I did for a little while myself. I went to alcohol and and tried to drown out stuff, and other issues that I went through when I was in the military. But thank the Lord that He got a hold of me and took that demon off me, and I don't drink anymore. Do I still have some nightmares sometimes? Yeah, but thank God I have a great wife. She's behind me, and she even though that I had some pretty bad days, I don't how to say this, but I was for my lungs. I had to take this medication, and it's called steroids. And the type of steroids, they're very, very high. And I was taking
Prednisone?
them. Yes. And so I was taking them, and what happened is I couldn't sleep. There was a time where I didn't sleep for like 22 days, no sleep at all. And I was just delirious. And one night, I guess I just kind of went into a blackout, and I guess I was kind of like in a different state of mind. And
Yeah.
I could have actually even killed my wife if she didn't call out my name.
Yeah.
Because of all the training and things that I've had to do in my military career. But
Yeah.
I thank God that I didn't, and she still loves me and cares for me, and I don't touch the alcohol anymore, and I'm just
That's
grateful
awesome.
that
Good for you.
Well, how do we
Good
reach?
for you.
How do we reach out to more vets and maybe help them to overcome some of those demons that get brought home with them? Because I know PTSD is no joke. I have
Yeah.
PTSD. It's not from war, but when I talked to my psychiatrist, she said I reminded her of somebody coming off the front lines of war. And I actually got to meet quite a few vets in that arena as well, because we were all dealing with a lot of the same kind of traumas to our minds.
Right. Well, I think.
And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you go right ahead, Michael.
I think the best thing to do if you're trying to reach out for veterans, if you want to give them a platform to say something, to even just get a little bit off their chest, to open up the door to them. Sometimes they don't want to at all because they just don't want to have that memories of things that they had to do, and see. And sometimes it can, set them off. Me, I've given it to God. I can talk about it because I, I ask Him to try to speak through me. And yes, war and killing is very ugly. It's something that people can't even imagine the kind of stuff that happens. But I think what you could tell veterans is, hey, we're here for you. You were there for us. We want to be here for you. I think that's one of the big keys that's going to help a lot of veterans, because they were there. We were there for the American people.
Exactly. And a lot more American people feel that way towards our vets than not. And I believe that in my heart. And somebody the other day had brought it up in chat here, and Brenda's talking about it right now, and I love the idea, and I went over and told it on Liberty, but the yellow ribbon around the old oak tree until they all come home. And that has been something that's crossed political lines and parties and differences of opinions for ages, for every war we've ever had. A yellow ribbon around the old oak tree until they all come home. And why is this any different, right?
Right.
We're in a psychological war right now with our own government.
Right.
And what kind of psychological damage could we do to hurt their side if they saw yellow ribbons everywhere they turned a corner?
Man.
And it's something simple. It's something simple, and everybody can participate in that. Mm-hmm. Every person can participate in that without, any kind of fear of their face being put out there or any of that. And I think a visual statement maybe at this point in time will bolster the hopes of everyone in America, not just our vets, to let them know, hey, we still love you. We still want to be here for you. So I just wanted to mention that real quick, but you're absolutely right. So I'll make that invitation right now. Any veterans out there, thank you so much for your service. Thank you for being there for us. We want to be here for you. If you need a platform, we will help you. We will provide it. If you don't want your message out there, but you want other vets to talk to, email us. We'll put you in touch with somebody. And we want to help too. And if we can help you guys in any way, we will. And even if it's just listening, or even if you just need to call up to talk about changing the tire, just to have somebody to talk to bounce off of, that's fine. Just let us know. Reach out, because we want to do that. We want to help.
Right.
We have a lot of respect.
Well, I'm just thankful that we do have a lot of patriots that are building up channels like yourself and Ken Carson and Liberty Warrior and a lot of other patriot channels. This is what we need. We need to wake up the Democrats and let them know that, hey, you know what? Yeah, we're not on the same side of the fence, but you can jump on this side because we are the true patriots of America. And I even gave Ken and Liberty Warrior a great idea. I think it is. But I like to say, be a true American patriot.
Yes.
That is big words right there, because when you're being something, you're being part of a group. Say, like if you're on a football team, you're part of that football team. Okay, but now it's America. So, you know, be a true American. Go back and look at our history and look at what men and women have suffered for our country. And so, you know, right there, I believe when you're saying be a true, because we have a lot of fake Americans in our country right now.
That is true. Very true. Yeah, you're correct. It's sad.
It is sad, and it's and we see it. We see it, and they come out and they don't care. They don't care. They're not. You know, they're not being Americans. I'll never tell them that. I'll tell any of them they're not an American. When they do what they're doing, they're not American.
Yeah.
So you know, so when you say be a true American patriot, a patriot is a person that loves their country. They'll die for their country if they have to.
Yep.
That's what a patriot's all about.
Yep.
Right.
So,
I'm
and
going
just
to be
in
a
that
domestic
big
soldier,
word,
sir. Thank you for your service. I'm going to be a domestic soldier. I may not fight abroad, but I will fight here at home.
Oh, there you go. That's what we're doing. It doesn't mean you have to pick up a musket rifle and go out there or anything like that. But what you're doing right now,
I'd be willing.
Yeah.
I give it a shot.
You probably are. but as what we're doing now is we're getting it out. Patriots are building up channels and we're spreading it out. And I've seen a lot of Democrats that were hardcore Democrats. Now they're switching over and they say, "Whoa, that light just dinged in my head, and I'm seeing what's going on."
And it's going to take those little increments. And yes, there's a lot of frustrated people out there, but that's where I think a lot of it comes down to. You know, there's a few things that I did learn back when I was, you know, younger and learned off of grandpas and great grandpas of other families. And they would always say, slow down, slow down, enjoy life. And I think that's almost the biggest part of why people are having a hard time catching on to what is really truly going on, because they're going so fast, they're just looking for someone to give them that answer. And they're not stopping and just like you said, learning history, learning what's really the steps that are going on around you, and understanding that, wow, boy, oh boy, this is, and we're not going to go into it deep.
And learning to separate.
Way deeper, and I know you understand.
Learning to separate our military too from our government.
Yeah, and a bunch of there's a whole key factor. There's tons of key factors. And it's discernment and understanding and trusting nothing until you have proof. I mean, there is so much to it. And that's also believing in the leader, the Almighty, and having faith in him and faith within yourself, and stop thinking of a handout to somebody else for what's going to happen next.
Right.
Start reading, start discernment. Catalog it. It may happen, it may not happen. But if you have a catalog, it's knowledge, and knowledge is power. So if it did happen, somebody else doesn't know, you can go, well, hey, this did happen, and here's the link for this, or here's the book for this. Take a look, read it.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a work in, as I'm gonna be funny on you here, work in progress, but it's a work in progress. This is going to take a long time. It took forever to get this way, and it's going to take not the same amount of time to get back, but it's going to take a few years to get things under control. And that's the way it should be.
I think there is quite a bit to be said about building up the America that we want, that you guys have fought for, that our grandparents and our parents have fought for and died for, and the blood that's been shed for this nation
and global
since the birth of it, since the birth of this nation. The tree of freedom has been replenished multiple times with the blood of our servicemen and women, and that's not just people over there with rat-a-tats. Lots of people here at home that have died. And like he said, even the younger ones that get rattled during training and end up in bad ways, they had the courage, they had the pluck to stand up and sign up and say, I know I'm willing to sacrifice, if it should come to it, my entire life for my love of God and country. And
Absolutely.
that's invaluable. That metal in your spine that you were born with is invaluable. And that's not putting anybody else down, because a whole lot of us have metal in our spine too. We just may not have been accepted for it, or we may not have chosen that path, but it doesn't mean we're not just as strong and
Right.
like the wives of veterans, they all deserve kudos, right?
Oh my
Those are some strong women to stand by their men.
What's that,
Well,
Monty?
I was unlucky to have. I've been. My wife is not. I've had a wife when I was married, when I went in the military, and I guess I did too much training and had to do much doing my duty. I wasn't around too much, and she decided to go out and start seeing other men because I wasn't around. But my wife now, she's a big supporter of me, of been a military guy. She's dealt with the kind of stuff I've had to deal with, and she's a trooper. Now she's a trooper. She's hung in there, and she always told me, if I would have been your wife at that time, I would have never done that.
Right. Now, here's the thing, too, and there's something to be said for that. You bringing that up because, we're not all made the same, right? None of us are. And sometimes it's just as hard, if not harder, on the mothers and the wives and the daughters that are left at home waiting to hear something, waiting to know something. And that's not a good place to be either. So, I mean, you got to give them props for when they stand strong beside beside their service members, because there's something to be said living in a state of anxiety, and it takes a strong heart and a strong mind for them to be able to hold on there every day and hope and pray that the officers aren't showing up at the door with a flag. So I know it's the same way for police officers' wives and whatnot. They hope and pray that those officers don't show up at the door,
Right.
and that you come home every night. And then at least they have an every night situation. But with service members, oftentimes you don't. You have months, sometimes years of deployment, and it takes strong people to stand beside you.
Yeah.
And but that aids you guys, knowing that you got somebody strong standing behind you at home, and so it all works together. We could be a very well-oiled machine if we could just ditch the governmental system and create something better there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I just thank you guys a lot, and I appreciate you guys for
Absolutely.
letting veterans come on and have voice if they're up to able to doing it. We do have a lot of veterans that are on channels on YouTube. You got Douglas Cody. He's a good man.
Yep.
Good.
And
You're always welcome here.
Is that Coda Boy?
yeah, Douglas
I thought so.
Cody.
All right.
Yeah, good man.
Yeah.
And a veteran and a police officer, a retired police officer, and a veteran, Army veteran. He's seen combat. Then you've got, of course, you got Jeff. And there's others out there, that do speak out. Sometimes they have a little hard time. Sometimes as veterans, we have a heart too, and we sometimes break down. And we spill. I spill out my heart sometimes. Depending on if I'm trying to I try to hold on, but we break down sometimes and cry because of
We're all
things that
human.
we've seen. Yeah.
We respect you because you've done
Yeah.
what you've done for us, for our country, and we respect you and love you for that. But we also know that you're human, and we don't put you up on a pedestal in order
Yeah.
that somebody could come along and knock a leg out from under you, you know?
Right.
We're all human. And so we all have things like that. And if we can help each other by sharing those things sometimes, if you know, if you're strong enough to share, or if you just need to get it out and you just need somebody to be here, that's we want to employ, or we want to implore all veterans that find a circle, a group, a fellow veteran, somebody that you can talk to, because those are human traits, and we can't keep those buried forever. You know, we have to let some of that out, because it will overspill into other areas of our lives sometimes.
Mhm.
So yeah. So if you, I mean, you're always going to be welcome here, Michael, for anything. And I don't care what the title of the show is. Usually our conversation always veers away from whatever we start with anyway. And that's kind of how we like it. You know, that's kind of how we
Yeah.
like it, whatever each new day brings.
Yep.
And so we love you. Thank you, sir.
Well, you're very welcome, and I appreciate it. And just keep the guys in memory today. They're being brought home. They're showing them, bringing them off the planes with the flag draped over them. And I just hope one thing. I just hope Joe Biden doesn't get near one of them, because I'm telling you, some mothers, wives would want to, I want to say, because
Yeah.
they're not
Yeah.
very happy right now. This was an uncalled for. This was not in the plan. He broke the
Preventable.
plan, and this is all on their hands.
Yeah. And I think most all of us, as Maria said, what happened over there crosses party lines. We all know
Yeah. We know
that
it's-
was completely and totally avoidable.
Yep.
And the blood loss that's going to come from all the equipment being left and all the
Yep.
stuff, and just the
Man.
yeah.
Well,
Trump
I'm
had it.
thinking.
it'll be laid squarely at their feet, I'm sure.
I'm thinking with the amount of damage that was done from all the people that were killed plus our soldiers, it was probably, I'm thinking it was a claymore. I don't know if you guys know what a claymore is.
Yeah.
Yes.
People that don't know, a claymore
dang it.
is an explosive that has BBs in it, and so when it blows out, it will take a lot of people out with just that, and it can go, it can go in a long range. And just think, if that ISIS guy got a hold of our weapons that were there, that were left, and then use it on our guys, we just think about this. We paid for that in our taxes.
Exactly.
We paid for that.
And
But
what
then,
are they going to do? Call it friendly fire? That shit pisses me off so bad.
yeah, and that's what breaks my heart right there. I mean, it breaks my heart just as they were killed, but then it was our own weapon. That's what I'm thinking it was, because I know how these weapons work. And something that large of an explosion, I'm thinking would have to come from the C4, which is is called a claymore.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking. And maybe in the days have come, they'll find out, and they're going to say, yes, it came from a claymore. I'm going to say, yeah, see, there you go. And it's sad, because these weapons now that Joe Biden left for these guys, billions of dollars, billions, not millions,
Yeah.
billions.
Of our
And these helicopters.
military equipment, and yeah, that I watched Monkey Verse run down the list, and I was just like,
we already knew, but we didn't know how
appalled.
much. We were just like, wow.
Appalled.
These helicopters are high-tech helicopters.
Yeah.
These
and they're
aren't
trying
just
to fly them already.
Pardon?
And they're trying to fly them already, the Blackhawks.
Supposedly.
There you go. I've seen them. I've seen them in action. I've seen what they can do. I've seen, I had one of maybe 50 feet above me, firing its hell rockets and it's using its Gatling guns and stuff, and the shells are dropping on top of my helmet, bouncing off my helmet. I've had that.
Can you hear me,
I've seen
sir?
them. Pardon?
I said, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, exactly. But serious note, I do have problems with my ears because I was near that explosion, and I have constant ringing in my ears every day, from the time I go to bed till the time I wake up. It's constant ringing, so it's kind of hard for me to hear.
Have you ever tried any kind of music frequency therapy for your ears, for your tinnitus?
Yeah, I've tried it.
Okay.
I've tried everything. I've gone and seen specialists. They looked at my ears and they just said there's, really not much they can do about it. Even hearing aids. But, if you have a hearing aid, you're still going to get the buzzing.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, Monty, 1 second. Hey, real quick, Michael. Camo Carl wanted us to mention Carlos Hathcock. He may know him. Carlos Hathcock.
I didn't hear what you said.
Do you know a Carlos
Hathcock.
Not personally, maybe in chat or something, where maybe on other channels, but not personally.
He's
Go
a
ahead,
Marine.
Mon.
Carlos Hathcock was a Marine sniper in Vietnam. They called him White Feather.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know him.
or something like that. Thank you for your service, Michael. And there was someone in chat that was wanting to know where you served.
Well, I was over in Fort Lewis.
Yeah.
So that's where I served at. That was where that was our main base.
So Army?
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know where Fort Lewis is.
It's in Washington State.
Yeah.
And so we had back in the 80s. You don't remember when we had the Marines that were killed, the 240, I believe, that were killed back in 84?
I never heard of that.
Okay, well, back in 84, there was 240 Marines that were in their barracks. They were sleeping, and a truck rammed into the building and blew the building up and killed 240 Marines. I believe it was 240.
Wow.
And so Reagan was the president, and he ended up implementing units for sleeper cells in America.
Okay.
So the military would have special units that would go after sleeper cells. A lot of people don't really know that because they don't put that out. That was back then; they didn't put it out. But
Wow,
there's sleeper cells here still here. Now,
yes.
with this guy thinking he's a president, I don't know if he's having them go out and take care of these sleeper cells. But we have, with the open borders and them coming through, they get together and then you get like maybe 10 of them. They start doing training. Then they want to do a terror on American. But a lot of people don't know this kind of stuff. This is behind the curtain stuff for the military. They don't put a lot of this out.
Right.
But,
well, no, because
we don't.
We don't know that we have enemy on our soil.
Oh yeah, we definitely do.
Come out if they thought about it.
We definitely have enemy on our soil, but you have to weed them out. You have to get rid of them. You don't go out and you have cameras and showing how the military takes care of the problem. It's all top secret. Take care of the problem, and that's it, and go to the next one.
We've had enemies on our soil for the last 20 years.
Right, exactly.
I mean, big size sleeper cells.
Yeah, those. It started with it started before Obama's sanctuary cities, but what he did was made it easier.
Oh yeah, made them way easier. And now with
Yeah.
this fake president we have, he's made it even more easier. Now look what's happening. He's bringing the
Yeah.
Taliban here. Plus, they're
Yeah.
coming in on the southern border. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but 3 Taliban guys were caught trying to get in the southern border.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I
Well,
have a question for you, Michael. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Imagine how many more have come through that weren't caught.
Exactly. So here's my question for you. Do you believe this is going to get kinetic with the people here, here on our soil? Or do you believe that this is going to be handled before it reaches the people level?
I don't know if this potato head isn't taking care of business. He's the one that's supposed to be the commander in chief, which he's not. But
We all know that.
He has to implement it to all the commanders of all the units that are here in America that implement this. If he's not doing it, then what do you think they're doing? They're setting up, and we could possibly have another 9/11 on steroids.
Yeah.
Here real soon.
And I think a lot of people are expecting something to happen on this 20th anniversary anyway, just because of the situation we are in right now. And
well, did you know? I don't know if you knew this or not. Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. But I guess they found out there was one Taliban soldier coming through on one of the C-130s. That was just one. Imagine the rest. And these people only get vetted you're only talking maybe 11 minutes of being vetted. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's not nothing. That's like asking someone, you got a cold? Yes or no? And that's it.
Right. So long as they didn't think that minute, they could give you any answer they want.
Exactly. Tell them whatever you want. Oh yeah, I'm just a family man. My wife's back at home. She's got all the kids there, but I'm going to come to America. Yeah, right. I don't believe that for a minute.
Well, there's just like they tried to claim that all those people were refugees. I'm sorry, but I've been in a situation where I lived on a street, and at least I had a sleeping rule, and I've never known anybody that knew they were going to travel any amount of miles and spending the night with kids and not have at least a change of clothes for their kids and themselves and a sleeping rule, a blanket, something to cover with, right? So, a lot of people have picked all that stuff apart, but common sense will tell you you don't even have to pick that apart. Common sense will tell you that people did not travel in that manner for that amount of distance, period.
Right.
There were no foodstuffs. There were no water bottles. Come on, we all know about taking a hike in the woods, right? You go for a day hiking, you take bottles of water with you. You take a canteen, you take something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't just, yeah. But anyway, hey, Monty, you had your finger up a while ago. I'm sorry. Monty had his finger up a while ago. He wanted to say something.
Well, say something. You still there?
Monty!
Something. I think he was addressing chat. Somebody had asked a couple questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if anybody wants to ask me a question, it's in the chat, or I can't see it right now. I'm just seeing you guys. But anybody wants to ask a question, I'm more willing to answer it if I can. If I'm okay to be able to answer it, I can answer it.
All right. Any questions out there? Go ahead.
You know what really gets me is these little ungrateful little shits that have no respect for our veterans or active duty, that servicemen and women. and I've seen it in videos. I've seen it here and there. Some of it was put on as a learning lesson like that. Like one of them was this veteran standing there in line at like say a Subway, and he didn't have enough money to pay for his sandwich. And this one girl was like, "Come on, man, you're just taking up time." And so this other kid behind her comes up there and he pays for the for the veteran's sandwich. And I mean, it's just little lessons like that. Some of these younger generations are just ungrateful little. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't, as long as I don't have to do it, I don't care. That's the way they look at it.
Yeah. They don't have a clue what it's like standing up for the country.
Not at all. It's sad because guarantee you they wouldn't like it if our country became a communist country. Then they have no freedoms of nothing.
That's right.
We got a question for you from chat here. Jay's asking, for military operations, do generals come up with the plan and the president gives the okay, or how does it work?
Say that one more time, because you're kind of got my hearing ain't all that great.
Yeah, for military operations, do generals come up with the plan and the president gives the okay, or how does it work?
Well, generals can come and they'll have a plan that's written up that they think that would work, and then they present it to the supposed to be commander in chief, and then he'll go over it. They'll go over the plans. They'll say, okay, will this work, or can it fail, or are we going to lose men? Are we going to? There's a lot of variables, but yeah, generals will come up and they'll come up with a plan and then give it to the supposed to be president and make these kind of decisions. Yeah.
The ones that you really got to is the plausible deniability. I'll just say that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, Michael?
Oh yeah.
The top secret missions. Yeah. That's the ones Absolutely. That the president does not know nothing about. And he just, yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things that presidents don't know about. There's a degree of how much they give a president information. They can ask for it, but do they have the clearance for it? Nope. Trust me, I know that one. There's been a mission I was on that not even presidents know about.
Yeah. And see, I think a lot of people don't understand that our military is not sworn into our government. And I think some of the military might not even know that. I've actually met people that have served that misunderstand that their oath is to the country, to the Constitution, and not to the government. And I think most veterans that I've met that have served in past wars understand that, and they have taken it to heart. But somewhere in the in-between, some of the newer ones aren't catching the importance of that oath, or maybe they were never taught the importance of an oath as a child. I mean, we were taught that as children in my generation. So, I don't know. Is that still a pronounced thing in the military? Do you know? Or has that kind of gone to the wayside, like saying the allegiance in school?
Oh, yeah. A lot of things have changed since I was in the military. A lot of things. Let's see, one thing that when I was in the military, but it was just coming in when I end up not able to, when I got out, that I think it's called the something Mothers. Forgot the name of it. It was back in, I can't remember when that. But anyway, I guess a lot of the mothers were kind of upset that some of their kids would go in the military. And sometimes, depending on what you go in, you can get mistreated. But it's not it's not out of a bad heart. It's because you're trying to train these soldiers to be tough. If you can't be tough, then there's no reason for you to be out in a battlefield and try to go hand-to-hand combat with an enemy. You can't sit there and say, well, I'll give you a flower. It ain't going to work. You're not going to talk to the enemy and tell them, hey, I'll let's trade something or something like that. It's not going to work. They're going to be out to kill you, and you've got to take them before they kill you. The thing of it is now the training has changed a lot in the military, a lot. And when I was in, our drill sergeants can hit us and kick us and all kinds of different things that they can do. But it's changed now, and guys are not. Some of them are not just as tough as they should be. I'll just say it that way. Especially with now that they got the if you want to be a tranny or something like that, we see that. We saw that yesterday on Will Smith. Let's talk about it on his show. You have trainees in the military. There's no place for trainees to be in the military. None. You're not going to run out on a battlefield with a tutu on. That's just not going to work. I don't know. We've gone too far with not training our military at a top level, and it's sad.
Right.
And,
I agree with you there.
Nothing like the
Go ahead.
Russian on the Russian level or the German level.
Oh yeah,
Nothing.
yeah. The military is supposed to look for soldiers, depending on what they're going in for. You got to have the best of the best. If you don't, you're not going to win a war. You don't send a football team out there and play NFL, and you've only trained for maybe a week. You think you're going to go out there and be an NFL team? It ain't going to happen.
I'll just put that in chat for him.
It just ain't going to happen. So that's the way I try to use it, because some people understand it when you use like sports terms, that how you can understand it a little bit more better. And like it's kind of like that in the military. If you don't have the best of the best, you're not going to win. And you don't go out to go in the military and lose, because you lose by getting killed.
Okay, yeah.
Real quick.
Hey, just need to make a mention real quick to the mods. If something pops up in the chat on the YouTube and says show or hide, as long as it's not the F-bomb, show it.
Well, and not
it's
personal attacks.
Or a personal attack. But it's something that YouTube is doing that has nothing to do with us. We have no holding of anything.
So Maria, I think that was just a YouTube automatic.
Because I believe the word of Afghanistan or Afghan or whatever, I think that tripped him.
It's a trigger word.
It's a trigger word. So
call it the sandbox.
Yep, sandbox.
We called it that for 20 years. Why stop now, right?
Turban heads, turban. Trying to be nice, but
working in progress.
Well, and also too, they use bots. I've seen a lot of that where they're not even people. They're just computer bots. So and Mike's seen that quite a bit of times in his in Liberty Warrior during the chat.
Yeah.
So working. What you were going to do is perfectly fine. I went ahead and got it anyhow, but just as long as it's not an attack towards some personally attacking somebody or swear.
You guys know the trigger words, and almost all of you are verbers. I've never had anybody disrespectful in here.
Work around it for a little bit, but that'll take care of that part.
Hang on. Working in progress that she was going to hit a show where there wasn't any swear words. Is it because I said SHITS?
Oh, no. He was talking about YouTube hid one of Maria Retired's comments, and there was no curse words or nothing in it. And he was just saying he was going to hit it to show it because there weren't any in it. We were trying to figure. They were trying to figure out who was modding you know.
Well, anytime I've ever seen that get flagged or where it's showing up, show or hide, any mod can see it and either show it or hide it.
Right, that's what we
Right.
were explaining. Yeah, it's what we were explaining to Workin. He's never been a mod before, and he's a mod on ours. We were just explaining he's allowed to go ahead and hit show and hide as long as it's not an attack or, you know, the F-bomb or, you know.
The
I get a
trigger
message.
words.
Yeah, things you know.
I had a message on your guys' show last week just because two of them was talking about MREs and then they spelled out TURDS.
Well, that's
Because you guys,
So Michael,
that was
because
your
you guys,
choice. That's okay. I mean,
because you guys
Yeah,
told
our
me it was a
daughters-
family show. You told me it was a family show,
Yeah.
and now I know.
yep, and we appreciate that. So, I mean, it wasn't a bad thing. You're good to go.
so Michael, I got a question for you.
Sure.
You know, there's a lot of talk about how we can help each other and stuff at a ground level. And what would you as a vet think about if somebody could get a program up and running that connected vets with families who have lost a member, you know, in service, and maybe mentor the kids, you know, that have lost a parent? What do you think that would be well received in the veteran community?
Oh,
A program such as that?
Yeah,
How do we get a hold of people to set something like that up?
sure. Wives would come up, maybe kids that were Army brats or, you know, Marine brats, whatever, veterans themselves. Yeah, I believe that, you know, there needs to be a platform for that, because I want to tell you, everybody here, if we didn't have a military, we wouldn't be a country. Our
Yeah,
country, we wouldn't
exactly.
have.
But I mean, you know, go ahead.
Maria retired. You're fine. It's not going to affect the channel.
No,
you'll
we'll
be
be
okay.
fine.
Sorry,
You're fine. Yep.
didn't mean to interrupt.
You're good.
I'm gonna jump down and chat. Mike, it's been good talking to you.
All right,
Okay,
thanks,
well,
Monty.
thank you, Monty.
We love Monty.
He's awesome.
So you think that would be received? How do we get this into the hands of people who might be able to set something like that up? Get that idea out there.
Well, a lot of good thing is go to these Patriot channels, like Doug Ducote. A lot of veterans go on his channel. You got Will Johnson, which is Unite America First. A lot of veterans go there.
Okay.
Of course, you got Liberty
I didn't
Warrior.
realize Will was a vet, but I
No,
like
no,
Will.
Will's not. No, he's not a vet. He did go to ROTC school, but he never finished it up.
Right.
But
I like Will.
But Will Johnson is a big supporter for veterans. Of course,
That's
you know.
awesome.
Yeah. So, you know, United. Let's talk about it. And yeah. So he would be a great one too. So just check out Patriot channels. Let them know that this is something you want to do, that you would like to set up for veterans or families, you know, because of course they get part of that too. Because, you know, if you got families that are behind you, can you imagine all the fear that they wonder one day if they're going to get that knock, knock, knock on the door, you know, and their whole world is going to be crushed.
War affects all of us, right? And it affects the families that are left behind too. And if we can build a strong enough support group, you know, in that manner, I think that would be highly beneficial for all parties involved. And I think it would help the vets too, to be able to give back to that younger generation, that next generation. Like, you know, your father or mother, they didn't, you know, go in vain. We all have fought for this freedom, and even you know, just standing up for what you know and doing right.
Right.
So I like that idea, and I want to get it out there. I'm not sure I'm the person to handle something like that, but if we can get that idea out to the right person in the universe to set something like that up, I think it would benefit a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I know Ken Carson. He's wanting to do it. I've told him.
Talk to him.
I've
We
had
did
a
an
talk with
interview
him personally.
about that.
Yeah, I've had a personal talk with Ken Carson. I told him some of my stories. He's really excited. He wants to start that too, so he would be a good person to try to maybe, you
So we've
know,
already got him. Yep. This
He-
is what we're
he-
doing. This
He
is
liked
exactly
the
what we're
idea
doing.
too.
in
His
fact,
idea
if you
is
plan
we're
on,
gathering different things. We're getting the show. We're slowly getting it together to where once he has it, he'll be able to have that show that he's trying to produce. That idea he's got going on, because he's
Right.
got so much in the background right now.
right.
With his
Well,
stuff.
his,
He's trying to get
one
things
of his
situated.
plans is he wants to go to Arlington Cemetery, and he
All right.
wants to sit there and sit there and just meditate and just pray with the Lord and sit, and and just with the fallen soldiers, and he wants to sit down and write a song.
Yeah.
And some of the stories that I've told him, he wants to put that into the song.
Yeah.
Also the one that I told you about, the soldier that before he died, and we were holding his hand, he said, I love my country. How big is that? I mean, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
A guy that knows he's just about ready to die, and one of his last things he wanted to say is, I love my country.
Yeah.
Every time I think of that, I want to get tears in my eyes because he meant it with his heart.
Yeah.
And then when the lights went out on him, that was it.
Yeah. He used his last breath to express his love, and
Exactly.
yeah, that's something that is that'll be untarnished for you until your last days.
Exactly.
That love of country, and I think that's coming back in a lot of people, and I think it's been lost for entirely too long. And
Absolutely. Well,
regardless
you
of how you feel about
when
Mr. T, I think I did a big way to bring the love back for our country, for our nation.
Yeah.
Right.
Regardless. It's
well, we all remember when 9/11 happened, and then everybody was putting out the American flags. You remember that? Flag.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There was no race. Everybody was colored gray that day.
Absolutely. We were all Americans that day. We were
That's
all
right.
Americans, no matter if
And
you're
in the days
Democrat.
that followed, too. In the days
Pardon?
that followed, we were all united as Americans.
Yeah, that's the way we.
Huh.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing that all Americans would come together, no matter if you're Democrat or Republican?
But can
it's
we
the
do it
love of the
without
country.
and keep it like
the
that
devastating-
for the generation after. Not this. We got it for a couple years, and then all of a sudden it dropped out.
It's-
right back to what it was.
It's sad to me
Yeah.
that the younger generation have no they have no memory of 9/11, which was just a devastating day. There are people that don't even
I remember.
realize the extent of it. I mean,
Man.
good Lord. And it wasn't just Americans. That was
Right.
an attack on global citizenry, because there was a lot of different global citizenry in those buildings when they went
Right.
down. And I knew quite a few corrections officers and EMTs and other first responders that went to the site and helped out and volunteered their time, and it was something. I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever seen so many people hitting their knees simultaneously. Not even today,
Mhm.
as they did on that day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was something else. That's for sure. Because I was handing them two 22-foot bass boats up to Cleveland, Ohio, to a boat show, and came across the radio within 10 seconds after that. UBS hit the phone. I was already on the side of the road. By the time the EBS got done, I was already calling mom. She lived down in North Carolina, in Raleigh, and she was at work, and I didn't care. She's like, I can't, I can't. It doesn't matter. You need to go check on these now. So we were just attacked. So our soil was attacked, and she immediately dropped everything, went and told her coworkers. It was, you could just tell, just me being on the side of the road and listening to the radio, and I was on the phone. There was just that moment of silence. That, oh my gosh, what's going on? Everybody was quiet. We were getting to the TV, and it was just, I'll never forget it. Absolutely not. We'll never forget it.
And the younger generation have no idea that, that day was such a, it was a horrific day.
It was a whole day of mess. Yeah.
People can't get the things that they saw from being in New York and seeing
that's
I
just feel for them.
And
traumatized the nation. It really did.
Oh yeah, a lot of people got just seeing what they're seeing, what was going on and happening, have trauma just from that. It's something that their eyes, they thought they would never ever see some things that they saw, and
people thought we'd never be touched.
Yeah,
you don't realize
the thing about it is that it's not been taught to the younger generations like the past has been taught to us. When we were growing up, we learned about the most recent wars and what they called conflicts, and we learned about the ones that built our nation, and children just aren't learning that anymore. Just like they aren't taught cursive. It's coming back in some places, but that's all deliberate. That's all very deliberate. And we were talking about that yesterday, about every generation of children has had its own trauma delivered.
Yeah.
Right. Ours was the first school teacher going up in a space shuttle, and the shuttle explodes, and then
that was devastating.
And we were kids during
watching that right on TV.
And then what was the other one?
The day was shot. You couldn't keep the kids from talking about it, or the rest of the school day was done.
Monty was helping us out with that, but every generation, that's passed, the children of that generation have some very strong memory, some very strong trauma that has been delivered via mainstream media or the government, right? Whether it be war or whether it be an incident like that. And every generation, we talked about it. We looked at the history of it. We talked about the destruction. We talked about, all these different things, and it sticks with you. And this newest generation, my sons are 20, 25 and 20. No. Yeah, 27 and 25 right now.
Yeah,
27 and they don't have any recollection of 9/11 really, or the devastation that it caused, or the unity that it brought, or any of those things. They don't even know that Russia sent a monument over for all the Russians that died in the building. It's things like that. And it's like, it blows me away that our schools have changed that much.
Mm-hmm.
So we are not teaching our children about these things so that they do not repeat.
Right.
And
I remember when I was back in school, when I was probably about 7 years old. I remember being in school, and one of the first things we do is we pray, and then we'd say our pledge allegiance to the flag. We would put our hands over our heart, and we look at the American flag, and then we'd all sit down and appreciate what we do have. And then the teachers would sit there and talk about freedom, what people have done for what you're doing.
We started every day that way.
Yeah.
You remember that? We started every day that way.
What are you thankful for? Exactly.
Yeah. And then she would also, like you said, she would even have someone who wanted to say what they wanted to say. They'd raise their hand, and a child would say, my mom or my dad, he served in World War II or Vietnam, whatever. And
Yeah.
That's the kind of country we need to have back. Not let's
Yeah.
talk about how we can go out and dress up like a girl when you're a boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the ones that, went fishing with dad this weekend, or went fishing with grandpa this weekend, or did this with grandma this weekend, or the girls were like baked with grandma this weekend, or mom, or aunts and uncles, or we had a big backyard barbecue after church Sunday, or you always had something that you talked about. Exactly, you were always the kid was acknowledged, and that's a lot of it.
Right.
Taking that away started some of this problems that these children do have because you're in another place. You're not with mom and dad, so you're trying to be considered an individual, but yet at the same time they don't treat you like you're an individual. They just treat you as a group of little kids. And no, it's gotta it does. It needs to step back, like they said, back to the 50s. It's gotta go back. A lot of things have got to go back. Not so much the technology, but the way we are towards humanity as well. It needs to get
Right.
about each other and recognizing one another, slow down.
What burns me is that
all of these in between.
they've lied to everyone for so long, and we all feel betrayed in some manner.
Yeah.
Felt that way for a long time, and I've always felt that the government has always betrayed our vets. But then I was born at the end of the Vietnam War, so I grew up knowing uncles and aunts and stuff that had gone through that period, and it was really always very hard for me. I never trust the government on anything, not on anything, and it comes from growing up around those people who shared their stories, and who you could see how their life was altered, through those events, and the betrayal of them not teaching us the truth, not telling us the truth, and hiding so many things. And then I think it goes deeper than that. And I know for a lot of vets it does. The betrayal that their brothers and sisters have lost their lives and have bled their blood, their last drop on the ground for this country, while the government in charge of it is entirely invested in flushing it down the toilet. And it pisses us all off. But I think anyone who served can tell you in the heat of battle, anger is not your friend because it messes with your critical thinking. And so it's very hard to be in the situation we're in, and especially with what's going on over there in the sandbox right now, and not be so pissed off about it that we're still thinking clearly and moving forward, because you still have to move forward. The rest of the platoon still has to go forward, right, Mike?
Absolutely.
Mike?
Yep.
You prefer
When
Michael?
when you got a mission, yeah, you definitely got to go forward with it. It doesn't stop if a soldier goes down. He wants you to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what they were there for. Finish it.
Right. And that's the problem I think a lot of people are having right now with what's going on, and they're angry, and it's righteous anger. I mean, there's nothing that's not righteous about it.
Right.
And it's sad that some people are just now waking up to the fact that the government has lied for so long and about so many things. And I get that, but at the same time, we're nearing a point where they would love to have us enraged so they can spark off what they want to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
and we cannot forego our critical thinking skills at this point in time. At this juncture, we're still in the war. We're still on the front lines, and we are still in a position where we can move forward. And, I think that's important that people keep that in mind. It's a different kind of warfare for sure, but I feel like at some point there will be some kinetic energy going on, and I don't know. I hate to see that come to our land. I hate to see that go to any land, but I think that at some point it will.
Well, we've had war from the beginning of time, and there's countries that are just not going to get along with each other, and we just as our country, a lot of countries are the people are envious of American citizens because we have our freedom. They live in a communist country. Look at Cuba. They support us big time because they would love to be a free country. They would
Exactly.
love to have a free country. And here we're a free country, and we got people don't even appreciate what they have.
Exactly. Well, and they don't know any other way. They've never been taught anything but convenience. And
exactly.
I think that's done a lot more damage, I think, than good. I'm all for technology and what it can do, but it has to be. It's just like everything else, right? It has to be used correctly for it to do good, and there have to be limitations in some areas. All this weaponization of all this stuff, and a lot of people saw it coming. They just didn't speak on it because the second they do, they're wearing a tinfoil hat or they're crazy and nobody wants to talk to them anymore. And I get that. I mean, thankfully, I'm the kind of person that most of my life, I really haven't had many friends. And it's not because I'm not a friendly person. It's because I think differently and I don't mind sharing my opinion. If y'all haven't gotten that about me yet.
There you go.
And it turns a lot of people off when you are completely bald-faced honest with them. It turns them off and they walk away because they just cannot handle it. They cannot handle the truth. And I know that sounds like you can't handle the truth. Well, that's true. A lot of people can't. And it's sad. It's really sad that many people have been gosh, I want to say brainwashed, but I think that's taken it a little bit easy on them because I think they got into it on their own from laziness, partially. Too lazy to look into it. Let the government handle it. Too lazy to look deeper because they obviously are keep telling us the truth, right? That kind of thing, and that to me is just lazy thinking.
Well, a lot of it too. If you're not
here. From a second source now, Washington Post just announced that all the Chinese solar panels are being held by customs due to labor law infractions in China. That's interesting.
Ooh, what's that one?
Oh, conservative cowboy. He's always got good intel.
Large presence of U.S. and Israeli troops at the Ngada airport in Al-Mahran province of Yemen. U.S.
A lot of movement.
Troops movement has spiked in the last 15 hours. A lot of movement.
Well,
all right.
We'll see.
Thank you, conservative cowboy.
Thank you very much, sir. Good to know. So if we got troops on the move, I'm pretty sure Biden isn't directing that group.
No, absolutely not.
We know it's the other commander-in-chief.
Gosh, that almost sounds like hope, doesn't it, guys?
Yeah, you got that right. And
that's why I was thinking this was the gut punch, right? Because punch in the gut, but hopefully it doesn't turn into a travesty, and we have more reports of like you came on and told us about the group that rescued those people and got them to the airport.
That was awesome.
hopefully we'll hear even more and more of that in the upcoming days. We have until the 31st, right? Supposedly.
We'll
Well,
see if it comes
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see
We'll
what
see.
happens. A lot of things can change from now till the 31st. A lot of people are really putting, and myself, I would love to see Trump back in there and handle business.
Yeah.
Put the boot
It would be
down.
nice.
Like in the military, we put the boot on the
Yep.
neck. That's what we believe. Put the boot on the neck. We show you we got the power, and
Right.
that's what needs to happen. That's why the ISIS and the Taliban, they weren't doing anything when Trump was in there. They were quiet as little honeybees. But now when we had, the potato head come in, oh wow, now look at this. We got the sweet guy. Now we're gonna come and do what we want to do. See? That's a big difference right there. That's you can see the two differences between a president.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's pretty blatant. It's pretty blatantly out there for anybody who has eyes to see.
It may not be the major move, but it's one of them.
And I'm all about loving everybody and all that, but I do believe there are people that are just going to refuse to open their eyes, and that's okay. They prefer the blue pill, and that's fine for them. That's fine for them, but that's not fine for me and mine.
Right. Well, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like, there's going to be, excuse me, a bad guy. He's around the neighborhood, and he's around. He's looking to break in someone's house. Are you going to be ready, or are you going to just sit there and be passive? No, you want to be ready. So when he kicks down your door, you know how to handle stuff. This is where we're at in America right now.
Yeah.
Are we just going to be passive and just let them do what they want to our American citizens? Or are we going to be ready and say, no, we're not going to put up with this? Nope, not me. And this is about ready to kick on people that want to be passive's front door, and they're not going to be ready for nothing, and they're just going to. All I can say is they're going to mess their pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they're going to say,
Boy,
they're going to say, what in the world is going on? What happened? Because we're paying attention.
We're losing you there, Michael.
I am. Uh-oh.
You sound like you're in a tunnel.
Thank you, Liz, for that reminder for our friends.
The tin can.
RD, you're right. Truth can have no exception, else it is deception. That is very true. Very true.
You want to try again there?
Well, I probably should get off anyway. My wife brought me something to eat, and I haven't eaten it yet.
Yeah, what time is it anyhow? Oh, wow, yeah. It's 4:30, almost 4:30.
Well, we greatly enjoyed your talk today. Thank you for coming up and spending time with us and talking about these things. You are always welcome here, Michael. And thank you also to Monty for coming up today, and all you lovely folks in chat. Thanks for being here. We love you all.
Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and get off here too. And I hope you have a blessed day. And we'll probably see you guys around the circuit later here.
Well, like my motto I always say is be a true American patriot.
That's right.
That's right.
All right. God bless y'all.
God bless
you guys
too.
later. All right. Thanks for stopping by.
All right.
And you all have a great afternoon.
Go ahead and shut me out on the video.
Yep, I'll get you.
Okay.